greetings and all that jazz. What's up, my guy? 2026, we are in week 4. Moving right along. You know how we do. Merriam-Webster's word of the day is one of my favorite, reciprocity. And that is giving back what is given to you. So if somebody treats you right, you treat them right. They give you something in kind, you give them something of equal or greater value. Showing appreciation back to people that show it to you. So do that information what you will. We out here driving, getting to the money or whatever. Of course, we're not. I know, of course, last year was doing, 4 spins a week. Nope. Supposed to just spin as much as possible. Every day is the goal. So I'm looking now because I didn't look before just now. Come on, let me see. How many did I do? You would. My phone being lame. My other phone, not this one. But, okay. Last night, yesterday, 2, 3, 4. Well, we got 4. We got 4 of them. Been on the busier side. I ain't been keeping up that bench press. I got to start doing that again or whatever. But just, again, being active all the way around. So, with the 4, though, I feel good with that, especially knowing how this last week was. Work is no longer. My contract ended on Tuesday. Of course, today is Thursday because we record on Thursdays or whatever this year. So, contract ended on Tuesday. That was the last day. And again, I feel just fine. Out driving now, about to go grab the buzzards or whatever so they can go check their schedule. Then I got a job to do for my business. So, like I said, financial will be fine. Is that with that? Doing applications. Heard back earlier from a recruiter about another job. So, we'll see. And a virtual recruiter from the same company that I normally rock with. They've been giving me these jobs over these last 5 years. Reached out and now if I can get that one that virtual recruiter was talking about, good God Almighty. I know I be talking about slowing down with Liv. The business might slow down a little bit too. But that would be dope. But of course, I'm appreciative of whatever I get. Spoke to Miss Maria. I went by there. Finally got to rap with her, and she got some stuff she working on that sounded like she gonna want me to be a part of. So I was like, hey, any way that I can help you, let me know. So there's that. I be trying to keep up with my books now. So this past week 4, I guess that would have been. This week 4. So for week 4, was listening to Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game. Nothing wrong with the book, but again, especially coming off of listening to The Alchemist for a week straight, back to back to back, over and over and over. Yeah, something else would have been better to cleanse my palate or whatever. That's not fair to his book. And on top of that, you gotta keep in mind that I've been consuming financial literacy content for the last 11 years at a heavy rate. So unless a book is presented extremely well, then I'm gonna say most times, over 60-70% of the time, that information isn't gonna be groundbreaking or anything new, especially like with a book that is older. If it was something brand new and you're talking about things like cryptocurrency and stuff like that, which not really interested in anyway, but something like that, or something new going on with currency and investing and stuff like that, cool. But anything within the last 10 years, with as much as I done consume, most of it I'ma know. You know what I mean? Especially if it's like systems and ways to invest, and if you're talking about the normal things I've encountered a lot, whether it's been things I was interested in or not interested in. I've listened to a lot of money and finance content. So again, it wasn't earth-shattering, didn't move me. I didn't hear anything new for someone brand new, or if it was 10, 11 years ago, to be like, oh, because I wouldn't have known most of the stuff. So it was an okay book. This week, I spoke about this before, that Give Yourself 6 months. That came from this page called Sleep Success Audiobooks that's on YouTube. And it's I think maybe 60 or 80 something books on there. And they're short, like an hour and a half or 2. So instead of listening to just one, I'm going to double up and listen to 2 and try to listen to, because I haven't scrolled through, but for today, I chose one that was working on yourself, like just as a person, and the other one is financial. So the first one I listened to was Learn to Keep Your Mouth Shut, and that's talking about not, you know, and I'm big on that or whatever. So not all the time, but sometimes my personality swings left to right on that. Like 1 minute I'm sharing whatever I'm doing, the next minute I'm not saying anything to anybody. And it's, oh, I know you was doing that. Yeah, I know. And it's never intentional. I'm just random. Or, I mean, it may be something deeper there, but I just attribute it to, I just do random stuff sometimes. And I be in different moods. Like, not in a mood or moody, but just sometimes I'm talking, sometimes I'm not. So, that one was pretty cool. I really liked the second one, the one that was more money-based. And it wasn't necessarily money-based. It still was dealing with, you know, your own self. It was train your mind to attract wealth. And so far, I just finished listening to both of those before I recorded this. And so far, I'm feeling it. So, that's been cool. Jobs over the last week. What do we have? Last week, I installed a basketball goal pole. I think I was on the way from doing that because I'm doing good about recording on Thursdays, on the day that I'm supposed to. So I was leaving from there when I recorded week 3. I had to pour concrete and put the pole in, and we got some inclement weather, so I was kind of worried. I'm like, I poured the concrete, and I mean, it was set, but it wasn't nowhere near set. And so I'm like, man, I was just nervous and thinking about this whole time, like, I'm gonna come back. And, you know, I used my level to make sure that it was, you know, where the way it's supposed to be, even or whatever, and stationed how it's supposed to be. And I was just like, we got snow and ice and wind and all that, so I was like, man, when I come back, that thing gonna be the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I just kept waiting, anxiously, you know, anticipating them, hey, the pole is leaning, and they never did. So I went back to check yesterday, and it was still leveled off perfect. And I'm, yes, all right, and the concrete was finished. But with that, you typically, I know I'm gonna need some help on it, so I'm gonna reach out and see who I can get to help me. I know I probably get Uncle Phil too or whatever, because he has flexibility with his schedule. So I find somebody. Again, I'm pretty sure, I think 80% of the goal I can do myself, and maybe when it's time to like lift it and stuff like that, that's when you'll need help. So I get somebody to help me with that. I'm gonna let the family know that I didn't make it today. I'll see once, because I got to take Uncle Phil. I use his shovel and stuff like that to be able to dig the hole to pour the concrete. So I'll reach out to him when I drop his stuff off, either tonight, probably tonight, and see if he want to help. Because if I can knock it out tomorrow, that would be great, and get that money before the supposed to be more snow this weekend. So I don't know, we'll see. But I did that. Did I do anything else? Let me check. Today is Thursday. Yes, I did. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot. So I did that. Dug the hole and put the pole in and everything, which was cool. Like, the way things work out, I get back to why I'm saying that or whatever, and excited. But so knocked that out, and then actually my homegirl Raggedy, I did some work for her last week. I did work for her before, but it wasn't what she meant to order. Oh no, it was right, but it was broke. So I was like, hey, I don't feel comfortable. So we didn't do that. I still helped with the little rocking chair or whatever, but she had a dresser and another like cloth like dresser, and I did both of those. So I knocked those 2 out. So those are my jobs for week 4. And what I was saying as far as the what was it? Oh yeah, like saying, it's just crazy how stuff happens sometimes. So when I was doing a basketball goal, all of the ones that I looked up have a base plate that you attach the goal to or whatever. It's like you pour the concrete, you put like an anchor down, 4 anchor rods down into the concrete, and then once the concrete and the anchor set, then you come back and you attach the basketball goal to the anchor plate that the 4 screws or bolts or whatever go through. So I'm like, all right, you know, sitting. And when I get there, like before I got there, I asked, because you're supposed to put a wood box around the concrete or whatever. I guess kind of like box it in or whatever and make it more uniform. So I'm like, hey, can you check the base plate for me and see, you know, what size it is? And the owner was like, I don't see a base plate. Maybe I'm tripping. I was like, all right, don't worry about it. Is there a Lowe's or Home Depot near you guys? And they were like, yeah. It's like maybe 10, 15 minutes away. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's cool. I'll come and do everything I can. And then when I get the base plate, I'll take it back and measure so they can cut the wood for me. Get there, all right, cool. Dig the hole and everything, get started. And it was kind of paralysis of analysis or whatever, like over analyzing and not mad at myself. Measure 6 times, cut once, you know what I'm saying? Making sure that I get it out right or whatever, because it's concrete. I don't typically work with concrete. This is really my first time doing it that I recall, on my own. So I'm like, want to make sure I get this right or whatever. So mixing and everything and pouring and like I said, I go to look for the base plate and I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. This doesn't have a base plate. And I go and check the assembly and installation video again, and yet nope, no base plate. You put the pole straight down into the concrete. You just got to make sure that it's balanced right. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and you needed bricks. You needed bricks because you dig the hole and you set the pole on bricks. It was way different than, like I say, the one that I saw and that a lot of people normally use when installing in-ground basketball goals. So I'm like, oh man. So not only did I need to run there to get wood, but I need to run to get some bricks. So I'm like, well, that worked out. So I run, I get the wood, I get the bricks, get the wood cut, and then I go back to the pro desk or whatever to pay for it. And there's a lady there standing talking to the cashier, and she's like, what you building? And I'm like, installing the basketball goal before this weather come. Just trying to get the concrete and stuff down. And she was like, yeah. I was like, yep. And she was like, oh, okay. What else do you do? I was like, small handyman work. Primarily, I assemble furniture, but I mount TVs, install fans, and just I find out what I can do as I go. YouTube University, watch it, read the instructions, and I figure it out as I go. So that's what I've been doing. And she was like, let me get your number. She owns, or was like part of like a real estate company or whatever. I don't know if she do renovations or what, but whatever it is, she's like, I be needing handyman or whatever. I have a few, but they aren't all reliable. So let me get your info. So again, even if I never get any work from her, it was a morale boost. Like, man, look at that, right place, right time. If it turns into something, that'd be great. If not, I ain't mad. So that was cool. And as far as lift rides go, oh God, excuse me. I dropped a guy off that is into real estate, but I didn't get his information with it. But we were in there talking because his car had messed up on him. His uncle's fixing it for him. Funny enough, 2 days later, I ended up dropping his uncle off. Picked him up from the same house I dropped him off at, and we got to talking. And the uncle works on cars pretty heavy. They almost wrecked. The uncle works on cars pretty heavy or whatever. So I'd heard that, like, the rough sound of my car is the brakes. I thought it was the struts because I went and got it checked with Meineke or whatever when they did my oil change. And so I was like, you work on cars like that? He was like, yeah, 40 years of experience. I'm like, well, what's this sound right here? He was like, it's the wheel well, like the inside where the wheel goes or whatever, that space, it sounds like it don't wear out or it's too small and it's rubbing against the wheel. He was like, is it loud? It's around 40 miles an hour? And I just said, yeah, not even listening. But then, like, after I dropped him off and I sped up to 40, I'm like, yep, you get over 40, 50, 60, 70, it's still, you can hear, but it's not as loud. But around 40 to 45, yep, that's his loudest. So I'm like, man, okay. So he gave me his info or whatever and was like, I can do it for you, whatever, no problem. Just let me know. But honestly, transparent, hesitation or whatever, or the Caucasian male, nothing wrong with that, but there's a bunch of Trump stuff over there, and they're like, that's cool. I don't know. So I haven't hit him up, but I do have his number, and I got his nephew number as well. So, like, I might reach out to the nephew to, hey, man, whenever you need to show a home or some furniture, stuff like that, I know you're busy doing all the real estate stuff, but I assemble furniture, and I can do, some of the handyman work for you. So, network with him or whatever as well. And like I say, with the uncle, see if I can get him to, maybe do the wheel bearing or whatever that he was talking about. So we'll see. That was that. So like I said, that was pretty cool to run into that lady and get that morale boost or whatever. Like, man, we're going to be okay. And it was a week before, like 4 or 5 days before the contract end or whatever. So it's like, just that, you're going to be all right. So like I said, business is going fine. I actually added a couple dollars to my budget today, and I got the job done. I'm finna hit to in a few minutes now, so that's cool. What else we got? Oh yeah, like I said, we got some snow. Man, them kids, the boys are the older boys, my bronze. They was out of school last week anyway because high school had like testing, and if you didn't have testing, you didn't have to go or whatever. So they only went to school on Thursday, and then they had a teacher work day on Friday. So we got the snow or whatever on Saturday. Sunday, Rose was okay. I didn't go nowhere Saturday, but I drove on Sunday, drove Monday, drove Tuesday. They've been out of school up until Thursday. Like, why? And that's you can see the road. It's pretty freaking clear. in most areas. Like even the spots where I have been, back roads and stuff like that, where it's like, it ain't clear. You're literally talking like no more than a 10-foot stretch of road. And it's like, I got over it fine on not the best tires on the SUV. See that bus? Them tires huge. And as far as I know, school buses don't roll around on ball tires. You could have got through this, but whatever. So, you know, like I said, I feel like it sucks. And I'm appreciative for myself, but I'm not somebody that always just thinks about self. What about the people that have to go to jobs and have, you know, small children where they don't have teens or older kids or whatever at home, or nobody to watch their child, and daycare, school, whatever is closed? These people may lose their jobs. Like, that sucks, you know what I mean? So I'm like, y'all gotta figure something out, bro. I get safety, but that ain't it. So whatever. Hopefully it's not the same thing next week. I'm like, this past week wasn't that bad. You know, I'm appreciative I didn't lose power or anything like that, and it wasn't horrible in my area. I just mentally prepared to be in the house on Saturday, and the same thing for this Saturday. I'm gonna be in the house. I'm gonna be cleaning up. I've been cooking too, so I'm gonna cook us some. I know I want red beans and rice and some more cornbread. Red beans and rice, cornbread. Have something good to drink. Make some desserts. Have a good time. Sit back, relax. So that's the plan for that Saturday. You know, and just be in the house. Now I will say, now if I could have left out, we'll live on that Saturday. If people was getting rides, I could have made a couple $100, but it was like, to me, it wasn't worth the risk. All it takes is a little bump up, fender bender, like, you know, how I pulled up to this red Dodge just now, whatever. I'm pulling up, and I stopped way back there, but the ice slid me into the back of it. I told you, I got the picture still from the accident I got to in 2019, where I literally scratched a lady's bumper. And hey, look, we can handle this cash or whatever. And she was like, oh, okay. She go find the shop near like $1,500. Here go my insurance information, because who finna pay that? Nah, I said the crib, you crazy. And it was like, legit, it didn't do any damage to whatever's like the not the bumper, but I can't think of the word for the bar. I know it's a bar that's under it or whatever, like keep it from like crashing out. No damage structurally to the frame or anything like that. I was going like, I was from a red light, I mean not a red light, a stop sign, from 0 to 10, maybe, not even 15, because I was still about to stop. I was going like 10 miles an hour. I hit the gas a little bit to accelerate, to move up, to be able to check to the left to make sure that I was gonna be able to make a right turn. And from, like I said, we're talking maybe not even 8 to 10 feet of space, like 5-6 feet that I moved up and tapped her, scratched the bumper, and $1,500. So I was like, to be out here slipping and sliding records, we're tricking them in this ice. Nah, I ain't got time for that. I mess around and hit somebody else's car, hit my car, hit a pole, hit whatever. I'm not trying to hit nothing. I'm not trying to get towed out of nowhere. I have time for none of that. So absolutely not. You know, so I just stay home. And I mean, if it's prior to it coming down, like I was driving up until it started to come down. I do that same thing, you know. More than likely, I'll be out driving Friday, because it's supposed to start, I think, tomorrow in the evening. So, more than likely, get out there, do as much as I can. And like I say, this time, because I didn't get any salt last time, I get some salt for out front. But again, I ain't going nowhere with it. I know of, unless it's an emergency, you know what I mean? So, salt my driveway, salt the sidewalk out front, and stuff like that or whatever. So, just in case, like I say, the older Brian, he actually left and went to see, he went there, got snowed in with his girlfriend or whatever for a little bit. So, I asked him, I was like, how were the roads? Was y'all sliding? He was like, nah, the driver, you know, that whole professional, don't play with me. It's only one whole professional in this world, and it's I created the term, my boy, as far as driving goes. But, like, he's like, nah, we was driving just fine. Like, how many, was it a bunch of cars on the road? He's like, I saw no other cars, it was just us, which, knowing him, he was probably on his phone and not paying attention. So it probably was other cars, but it was nowhere near like how it is now. You know what I'm saying? Like literally probably 10 or less cars between our house and his girlfriend's house that they passed, but he just wasn't paying attention. So, same. I'd be in the house chilling. I ain't finna be out there in that cold and snow. Like I say, if it allows and the weather permits, then I might go out there and get me a little bit, but I ain't banking on it. You know what I'm saying? If nothing else, I sit, relax, chill that day and Sunday, and then come Monday morning, my budget will start over, and I'll be advertising and reaching out more aggressively to clients. Not aggressively, but like here lately, I haven't been reaching out to people at all. Like I just let them reach out to me. Whoever reaches out, that's where I go. But like I said, a lot of the business have been return and repeat clients, so that's been pretty cool. But yeah, so Monday morning, boom, I'll see who reaches out to me. If by noon nobody has reached out, I'll reach out to see, you know, if it's anybody that has furniture assembly or other fans and stuff like that they need installed that I could do, and you know, hopefully go make some money then. Try to make some money every day with the business. I hope it's a quick turnaround, because I know that the job that the recruiter told me about, she said they're supposed to start February 3rd, which is next week, which I don't see that happening, because I was supposed to start like, the position was supposed to start 2 or 3 weeks prior to when I actually started with the one that I just finished back in July. I think my original start date was like the 14th or something like that, and then it got moved to the 21st and then the 28th. So I went up there 2 times before I finally got my equipment, because everything wasn't clear. So if they have a start date for the 3rd, it'll probably be the 17th, if not the 24th, because it's stuff that got to get cleared. You got to do stuff. And like I said, I ain't even got an interview yet. So I'm guessing if they're talking about the 3rd, then the interview will be like tomorrow or Monday. But either way, I'll be ready when the time comes. If I get it, great. If not, then hey, on to the next. Keep grinding. It's, you know, it's business, nothing personal. So like I say, man, one down, you know, almost 2 more days left before the month is over. January's been a really good month, work-wise, morale boost wise, like being mentally and emotionally, I've been pretty solid. Really got to unpack some stuff when I was working with Raggedy, with my best friend, nurse practitioner or whatever. We kind of, not a therapy session, but you know, more like a vent session. But she did, you know, and I'm like, I know what she therapizing me, as I said, or whatever. And when she ain't, and it was like, no, this is going, you know, we can do this. I was in a space where I want your therapeutic opinion, you know what I'm saying, your professional opinion on some of these things. So friend opinion here, therapeutic opinion there. Did I agree with everything? No. Am I gonna do everything? No. But you know, it was no hard feelings. Like, okay, I see what you're saying, I don't agree, and I can explain why I disagree, and you can explain why you disagree, and you know, we just go from there. So that's why it's always easy to talk to her, because even in disagreements, ain't nobody get like, now if it was something more pressing or different or like detrimental to my health, mental, physical, emotional, whatever, she will push back more. But there's just a difference of opinion. Like, you know, this could, in her opinion, this could be better. And I'm like, I'm not saying it could, but I don't care. Like, I am okay with how it is, and I don't desire for it to be better. So again, agree to disagree, and we keep pushing. So that was that. Oh, national championship. My dang on football team, my college football team, man, we lost some national championship, but I'm still super proud of those guys for even getting there. Because people hate on us or whatever, because we hadn't been like that since like the early 2000s, late 90s or whatever. So almost 25 years later, to finally make it, you know, back to a championship and have a great season or whatever, and we lose in the championship to a team that, if I ain't mistaken, I believe that was undefeated. Man, I'm not tripping off of that. Y'all did what y'all did more than was expected. Nobody, including myself and other fans, would have expected us to make to the national championship game. So good job, fellas. Is what it is. I definitely plan on getting back. I gotta find somewhere to play basketball, because not just mentally, but as weird as this sound, I not only mentally, but that aggression, being able to get aggression out. Like, I ain't out there fouling at all, but I play very strong. You know, typically I'm not no crazy tall dude, but if it's somebody that was way tall, or he kind of hefty or whatever, he 300 plus or whatever, I'm the heaviest dude out of all of my homeboys that I grew up with or whatever. And just not cocky, but I got that dog in me to where even if he's bigger, I'm not gonna be, you know, blatantly fouling him or cheating. I'll contest and use as much of my strength as I can and battle with him. And I think that getting that aggression out and getting that physical contact and battling and bumping people or whatever, that helped me a lot more than I realized. So not just for the, you know, aesthetics of it helps keep me in shape and helps mentally. yeah, I mean, it's still mentally or whatever, because that's something that's in my head that I need to get out or whatever, or physically I need to get out to help me mentally and emotionally. So definitely looking forward to getting back into that or whatever. Just keep going hard with spinning and everything right now. And I got a space heater. I bought a space heater. Oh wow. I bought a space heater for the snow. So probably lost a tooth. My oldest just texted me. That's very rare. Oh, he got braces. Cool. His mom had told me he was gonna need them, but yeah, I got a space heater, so especially now. What is this? Now with the, what do you call it? The weights that I have in the garage, I can take that down and at least heat that corner and be able to, you know, work out a little bit more. I'm definitely selling a little power tower I have. I'm not using it. I can get that out of there, have some space or whatever, and yeah, and make it easier to park or whatever, because the weight bench is like right there. So get that out of there, move the weight bench over, and I have a TV in there, and hook up the little Roku and stuff so I have something to watch. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for that. I'm gonna post a power tower this weekend, like I said, because I know Saturday I'm gonna be busy for, I know, at least probably like 6 hours straight, just like cleaning, washing clothes, posting stuff, making sure I'm getting the business and everything updated. I gotta start posting again to my IG, because I really fell off with that IG, LinkedIn and stuff, and just networking, having my business cards and stuff. But so that's that. And it was funny, like, so of course I go back and I look at not just the week prior video, but the videos from the year prior, 2025 and 2025. It's funny, like what I was saying with the kids been out of school. They were out of school a lot last year. It snowed around the same time, so I'm gonna keep up with that to see, like, last week of January it's always snowing. You don't find that suspicious? That'd be kind of freaky if that is an ongoing thing or whatever. So yeah, but I was saying the same thing last year. Like, man, these kids been out of school. I can't wait for them to leave. It was the same thing week 4 of last year. And of course, last year I was in a different space because I was, you know, talking about getting jobs, hadn't started my business yet or whatever. So like, again, to be in the space I am now, where it's like, I'm good, I'm fine, everything's smooth, we ain't panicking, no bills or, you know, crazy behind or nothing like that, nothing at risk of being cut off. And you know, that's an amazing feeling as well. So man, life is going pretty fine right now. 2026 is going great. And like I said, even to have the prospects, like, because around this time last year, I want to say, I think week 5. So I think by the time we got to week 5, that may have been when, if it wasn't the beginning of February, the first week of February, it was sometime in February where I know we were down there and I was getting my hair braided, or one of the kids was getting their hair done or something. And I had 3 calls in the same day for the same fraud position. I knew, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I feel like I'm worth $1 million a year, you know what I'm saying, when I'm locked in and working. But I knew that my experience didn't fit that pay grade, what they would be asking or whatever. And again, not talking down to myself, I'm speaking from experience. Like, I've had those interviews and I interview amazing, you know, even the ones where I can try to finagle it, but especially the ones where, like, some of the questions they're asking, like, okay, give me an example where you use this system, this, that, and the third. And it's like, nope, I ain't even finna BS this, because y'all gonna find me out. Like, no, I ain't even finna play them games. I'd rather get something that I'm a great fit for. Like I say, you know, and I'm embellishing a little bit or whatever, but I have to flat out lie. And I've had, like, people that are in those roles. Yeah, you got a lot to get in. That ain't who I am. You know, like, the money is great. Like, the money for me would be life-changing to the point where whether I'm doing I don't have to do Lyft. We'll probably very, very, very rarely do Lyft. And, you know, unless I just felt like it was trying to run my bag up, pay my debt off, get my savings there, I wouldn't even have to do my business like that. Like, hardly. You know what I'm saying? But I still would go get it or whatever, because that's just who I am. Like, why not get as much as you can? But yeah, like, back to back, end of January, start of February, start getting those interviews. So getting them, you know, from other companies, I don't get as excited because I don't have great experience with a lot of recruiting companies. I have great experience with the same recruiting company that you know, has got me into the same building over and over. So I'm confident with getting in this building, and I'm confident with this company or whatever. If they reached out to me about another job or whatever, I'd be more than open to taking it, because I don't know if it's my profile or how they sell you clients or what it sell you or what it is, but these people are always able to get my foot in the door. So I trust them, you know what I'm saying? Because there's not been a time where I've been out of work and they didn't find me something. So, but other companies, you know, I've interviewed with a lot of them. I actually had one call yesterday, like, hey, this is such and such, recruiting aid. Nope, dealt with y'all plenty of times over the years, never got a job. Again, not saying I'm about them, but in my experience, it seems like y'all are more focused on just let us get the interviews. I don't know if it's y'all have a quota to reach, you know, like, oh, we did a certain amount of interviews in a week or a month or for this rec or what it is, but ain't nothing coming home for me. And I haven't met anyone as much as I do live and encounter people. I meet people that, you know, oh, I got mine through a contract. Which company? They say the company. Nobody that I know has got a contract through the company that reached out to me yesterday. So I was like, yep, no, I'm not in the market. And that may be me shooting myself in the foot, but after, you know, getting rejected so many times, told no, and then not working out, you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's insanity. So if I'm missing out because I don't want to fit into the definition of insanity, hey, I'll just live with it. That's fine. So, like I said, but to already be in talks with the company that I do have great experience with, the same, like within 48 hours, I don't even think it was 48 hours. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. I think yesterday they reached out, you know, initially or whatever about the position. And so it's like, yo, it ain't even been 36 hours. Great. Again, if I can, you know, get that role and be right back working next week, that would be so beautiful. Kisses, fishes, and stars. But if not, and, you know, it takes until mid-February, end of February, beginning of March, I can't focus on what I don't have. I got to focus on the positive and the good. So I'm not going to trip if I don't get it immediately. It'll come when the time is right. I just got to do my part and, you know, make sure that I'm doing everything I can. And that's something that, well, I can't talk about that because that's from the book that I'm reading down, the Change Your Mind with Wealth. So I can't speak on it now, but already in the one time I listen to that, I do feel, I look forward to seeing if the things that I'll be implementing from that book makes a sustainable difference, and if it does, you know, attract more wealth to my life. So that's that, man. I think I covered everything. I can't think of nothing else when it comes to mine. Yeah, and I've been having some really cool conversations with some of the Lyft rides that I've been having, because sometimes I'm listening to podcasts and Reddit stories or whatever. So it done got real animated with some of these Reddit stories with some of the clients, especially some of the women. She did, oh no, she crazy or he crazy. Like, it's funny because they're not even bisexual. Like, no, they're hell for crazy. Woman or not, that don't make no sense. And so it's nice because I'm, like I said, I don't know if it's the Libra in me or what, but I don't care, man, woman, left, right, up, down. Right is right, wrong is wrong, no matter who it is. So if it's something that, you know, I as a man would feel is wrong if a woman would do it, I'm gonna feel it's wrong if a man do it too. You know, but you don't always encounter that. And there's a lot of cases where it's quite the opposite, where it's like, no, he's X, Y, Z, did this, that, the third. And then the exact same scenario, and it's a woman. Well, you don't know how that work. Whatever. Not finna get into all that, but that's like, well, I will say this, just an example of, I don't know, man, it's hard because you're prejudged just for being a man, and that sucks. Like, I've done that wrong. People that don't know, you know, nothing about you, just assume because of their bad experiences with men. So there was a teacher, a lady, and I want to say, I'm not going to say the city or state because I don't need to misremember it. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what the city or state was, but it was a news story. I think it's been like over a month now, and the woman went missing. And there were women, everybody turned into a social media detective, you know. Now, I get it. And that, like, again, I'm big on that. You don't expect from people what you would do. So just because somebody isn't crying and snotting on the news, you know, because their loved one is missing, if that's what you would do, that's not how everybody operate. So the husband wasn't reacting or telling the story the way that people deemed he should. And they were comparing him to other men who have harmed their wives or partners or whatever. And see, yep, he just like them. He did XYZ. Come to find out, this lady kamikaze missioned herself and drove her car into the lake. No foul play. He wasn't even looked at no more. And you had, you know, some of the like YouTube videos pointed out like the people that were, you know, condemning him, and he did something, and there were people that came back like, you know what, I don't know that man, but I condemned him without knowing him, so whether he see it or not, I apologize. I owe him an apology, and I apologize, whatever. And you had some people, no, I ain't saying whatever, like, you know, quite the opposite. Like, I don't care if he didn't do it. What I'm gonna apologize to him for? What did you condemn him for? You didn't know him. You stuck your nose in it publicly, and you condemned this man without knowing him from a can of paint. You judged him based on a 5-minute news conference or a press conference that he did, asking his wife to come home. We need you at home, whatever. And then when you find out, oh, I was wrong, I put my feet in my mouth or whatever. Nope, I don't care. He's still wrong. How? He had nothing to do with it. It's been proven. So that comes up in conversation quite often, whatever. And like I said, especially on some of these Reddit stories that I read, it's like, it's nice to have people in, like I said, because you get that mixture of opinions and see that like everybody doesn't think one way. Like I say, you know, there are times where there's a man or a woman, some of the stories I'm listening to where it's like, to me, this man done lost his mind. And you'll get a man in here that relates and like, yeah, you know, like, because sometimes I'm like, absolutely not. He wrong and you crazy. And, you know, sometimes it's quite the opposite. Like, you got a guy that said that is of the same mind I am. Like, nah, that ain't it. I wouldn't do that with my wife, girlfriend, whoever. Like, I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me, so that's wrong. And like I say, sometimes you get the opposite where it's a woman that's like, he done lost his mind, she done lost her mind, or I agree with her, and I'm like, oh, you crazy too. So whoever sound crazy to me, they're crazy. Man, woman, child, adult, I don't care. So it's been cool, man. That's week 4 in the books. Be kind to yourself, my boy. I love you. And remember, all our goals and everything that we are working on is gonna happen overnight. Plural, with an S. It ain't gonna happen overnight. Even if we win the lottery. I love you, and I'll rap with you next week. All right, my boy.